Ah, bollocks.
Okay guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. This is being made on Friday morning actually. I'm actually on holiday today. Firstly, apologies about lack of content this week. I mean, what have I put out? What have I put out this week? I put out a tennis thing and I looked at, I did a one Mainmeister mashup and I can't remember what the other thing was. There's been a very lack of content. This week I've been quite busy with stuff. What did I have? I was away, I was up in a place called Campbelltown. I'm saying up, it's actually across in the west, but it's 5 hours by car, so I fly there, visiting the job centre, and the plane was delayed coming back, so I didn't actually get back until 9 o'clock at night. That was on the Tuesday was it? Yeah, Tuesday. And then on Wednesday I had my computer club. Really good turnout. Good fun as is always. Last night I was running about daft, and today I'm on holiday today, but this weekend I have got the West Highland Way race. Now I'm not running it. Well, that's not technically true. I will be running some of it. I was supposed to be doing the race, but as anyone that watches my channel knows, I've been sort of struggling in the running front. I think I've got exercise related asthma, and I think I also have a bit of hay fever as well. It's one of these things, I can go out and run 10 miles absolutely fine, then the very next day I can go out and try and run 3 miles and I've got to stop and walk after one, so it's been quite frustrating. That's why I've got to put a bit of weight on, which isn't particularly good, but I'll get back. I'm going to keep batting away and I will get back again. So yeah, tonight at 10 o'clock tonight I shall be driving through to Glasgow, picking up my mates. Me, my two mates, we're supporting a chap. He's Chinese, he's from China. He is going to be taking part in the race, so we are going to be his support crew. Basically we are in a car and we've got all the food and equipment and medical stuff, and we drive from checkpoint to checkpoint, for him arriving, and we make sure he's okay, we make sure he's got food, water, anything like that. We're basically there to support him. We're there to get him to Fort William. It's 95 miles across the West Highland Way. It's brutal. I've done it twice before. It's an amazing journey, amazing. I mean, I did it in my fastest time. It's 30.5 hours. So if you can imagine running non-stop for 30.5 hours, you stop for a couple of minutes every 3-4 hours at a checkpoint, but apart from that you're on your feet. So from 1 o'clock in the morning on the Saturday morning right through to about 7 o'clock on Sunday morning, it's crazy. You're literally running for a day and a half. It's mental, but it's fantastic, and I definitely hope I'm going to be back there next year. But anyway, enough about my running. So I'm going to be away as of tonight, staying in Fort William on Sunday night, coming back on Monday. So I thought I'd take today off, just kind of chill out. I've got a few bits and pieces to do, get my stuff prepared, need to go and get some food and that as well. So gaming wise, what have I been doing? I had the computer club on Wednesday. Took along my little retro pie cab thing. Awesome. What's going on there? Oh, bollocks. It's coming off. Sorry. I took my little pie cab thing. It went down a storm. Went down really, really well. I've had a few issues with it. Now the issues are related to the actual Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi requires 5 volts to power it, and the Raspberry Pi has got 4 USB inputs or outputs, whatever, inputs I think you'd call it. And in mine's I have got the wireless keyboard adapter, I've got the joystick, what's it, the other thing, and I've also got, it's a little adapter to give better sound, because the sound is quite crackly. Unless you're playing a Pi through HDMI, the sound is quite crackly, so I've got this little plug-in USB thing plugged into one as well. But speaker wise, I didn't want to have, I've only got the one power plug. The one plug powers both the screen and also the Pi. The screen takes 12 volts. So the speakers that I bought, got them for about £8 on eBay. Really, really good quality. The only problem is they're USB powered and the Pi doesn't have enough power to drive them. It does, but it shuts down. So when I was playing it on at the computer club, I turned the sound right up loud to let somebody hear it, and it kept rebooting, and it's just all these pain in the arse things. So if you are going to get a Raspberry Pi, just be aware of it. You're probably going to want to have a separate power for like speakers, because it's like 5 volts, and apparently if it dips below, as it gets below 4.6, I think it is, it kind of goes into a shutdown mode. It throttles back the processor, which means that games kind of go a bit slower as well. So yeah, that's been a pain in the arse. But what I'm using, I've got one of these mobile phone chargers, little portable things. It's like, you know, a little metal box. I've got one of them charged up inside, so that is providing the sound. I don't know how long that'll last. I did actually have the mobile phone charger plugged into the Pi to see if the Pi could charge it, but that was giving me the same power issues. So yeah, that's that. I'm hopefully going to get the side art today. It was posted on Wednesday, I think it was, so hopefully that'll turn up today and I'll get the side art put on it. But really delighted with it. You know, it went down a storm. So that's been that. I was playing more Berzerk. As you know, I love Berzerk. The funny thing was, it was maybe a year ago, I came up with a feature called I Want to Be a Video Game Champ, and basically it was going to chart my progress from playing a game that I'd never played before and trying to become good at it. So I was going through my rather large meme collection, and I came to Berzerk, and it's a game that I've never really played. I wasn't particularly keen in the game, and I thought I'll give it a go, and I hated it, really hated it, but I kept persevering, and it's one of these games. It looks deceptively simple. I mean, it's basically a random maze, robots, and you've got to kill the robots and exit the room. It's just never ending. It's like Space Invaders, you never get to the end, you never escape, you're always going to die eventually. But what happens is, after a certain length of time, if you don't exit the maze quick enough, there's a little chap called Evil Otto, and he's the most unevel looking character ever. He's a little round circle with a smiley face. But he comes out after a certain length of time and you can't kill him. So it's a really simple game. But you know what, I've played it that much that I now love the game. I think I mentioned when I was at Play Expo last week, I was playing it, and my best score it was 17,000. Doesn't sound like much, but honestly, have a go of it. It's brutally hard. I mean, if you can get even 1,000 points, you're doing quite well. Really difficult game. So I was playing it at Play Expo last week, and I was on about 12,000, so I was kind of, you know, I was doing quite well. I think I had 2 lives at that point. And one of the guys the organisers, the arcade guys, he came across and he went, "Oh, great score, mate," and I'm like, "Oh, thanks very much." And I managed to get up to just over 19,000, and then I died. So that's my best score. I was looking at Twin Galaxies website this morning, and there's all different settings. You get Berzerk with fast bullets. There's one Rob set. The bullets that the robots fire come out quicker, so it's therefore harder. Then you get the slower set. So it's all different settings in Twin Galaxies. But when I play the slow bullets, which is still fiendishly difficult. And I noticed that I would have, with a score of 19,000, I would be in something like 5th place. I think the highest score's over 100,000. But yeah, it's amazing. There's games out there. I mean, some of the games are on Twin Galaxies. Twin Galaxies, if you don't know, is an organisation who record all high scores. So every video game high score is recorded by Twin Galaxies. If you want to submit a score, you have to record yourself playing it as evidence. Then you submit the score to Twin Galaxies. They will then verify it, and if they think there's been no cheating or, you know, underhandedness going on, then your score gets put up. I mean, there's even things like the Mattel Aquarius, which is an ancient crap machine. There's games for that, and you can get a high score, and it's like the Guinness World Records. I'm quite sure there's games that you could submit a score and probably have the highest score ever, only because nobody else has actually played the game. But going back to Berzerk, but my mate Alan pointed out something. In Berzerk, every screen is completely random. I think I've read there's something like 10,000 screens, but it's completely random, randomly generated. But somebody in the maze, you've got the maze, and you've got an exit left, right, you know, up, down, or north, northwest, south, and east. And if you go out the east door, then you appear at the west door, which makes sense. If you imagine a room there and a room there, if you go out that door, then you're obviously going to appear at the far left. But a guy sussed out that if you basically go around in a circle, not a circle, in a square, keep going through, you know, out that way, up that way, left, down, right, up, left, down, right. If you keep going round in the same shape, apparently it generates the same rooms, the same 4 rooms. And I mean, does it make it easier? I don't know if it would make it easier. I suppose if you know what's coming, then that's half the battle. I mean, one of the biggest parts of, in fact, generally when you die in Berzerk, it's when you instantly appear, and when you go through a door, you appear in a new maze, and the robots are randomly placed, and sometimes it's impossible to avoid getting killed. You might appear and there might be a robot above you, there might be a robot below you, and a robot to the side, and they'll all fire, and 9 times out of 10 you'll either run into the wall or you'll run into a bullet trying to avoid it. So having the same 4 rooms over and over again, technically, I mean, there's Joel West. I think he's one of the best Berzerk players. He got his world high record, or world highest score record, through playing it properly, i.e. just going out, you know, going through doors properly. And he's now trying to say that that score where the guy just went round in a sort of a square shape, that shouldn't count. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, what he's saying is it's still a high score, but it should stand. It should be, you should have 2 settings. You should have going round in a square, high score, then playing the game normally high score. But I was watching a video earlier on today, and there's 2 guys debating that, and they're saying at the end of the day, the guy's not cheating. He's found out a way of maximising score. It's like if you watch Billy Mitchell or Steve Wiebe, any of these guys, any of these, you know, really good video gamers, they've all got their own little tricks where they can score points. I mean, in Donkey Kong, is it the 2nd level or the 3rd level? It's the girder one where you basically jump over the little you jump over the rivets, and eventually Donkey Kong falls to the bottom. If you go up to the very, very top where Donkey Kong is, you've got the girl with the princess, then you've got Donkey Kong. If you go up that ladder, now I've never managed to get it working, but there's a certain way, if you go up the ladder and just jump up and down, you get 100 points every time you jump. It's the same in Bubble Bobble. If you just stand against the wall and fire as quick as you can, you get points for doing that. So it's not cheating, it's just using the game mechanics to enhance your score. So, you know, I reckon at the end of the day, if the guy wants to go around in circles or round in a square shape playing the same 4 screens, then that's up to him. I mean, you're not going to get, it doesn't make it any easier, I don't think. You know what's coming, but the robots are still going to be randomly generated, so whether it's making it any easier, I don't know. But so yeah, I've been playing a bit more in Berzerk. I say I was quite happy to get just under 20,000, or it's just over 19 I should say. I'm going to start battling into that game again and seeing if I can break the elusive 20,000. Anything else? Don't think so. My TV, I've got a TV there and I've got a TV there. I noticed the TV's kind of not been coming on properly. It takes 4 or 5 goes to get the thing to come on. So I thought I'll get another TV. I'll go into Gumtree, get one for 50 quid, or else I'll go to Argos, get a cheapo TV. The problem I've got is that TV there, it's got 2 SCART inputs. Now I've got extender cables plugged into each one. Now believe it or not, I've got 8 SCART sockets going in the back of that thing, for all the various, got my Atari, I've got my GameCube, Spectrum, BBC, Amiga, SNES, Mega Drive, the Commodore 64, they're all plugged into that TV. And I noticed I couldn't find any modern TV that only had that had any more than 1 SCART socket. I mean, apparently now there's a lot of TVs now don't even have any SCART sockets because it's all HDMI, you know, so I can understand that. But people like ourselves who like to play video systems, you need SCART sockets. And that's the thing, you know, when you think about it, it's one of these things. It's maybe worthwhile getting a collection of TVs, because maybe in 5 years time you may not get a TV that's got a SCART socket. Yeah, you'll always get somebody who'll make I mean, I think you can get a SCART to HDMI adapter, so you can plug in a SCART thing and then plug it in an HDMI, but you know, that's obviously costing more money. But it could get to a point where you know, the only TV that you've got breaks down, you know, case in point, that thing there, and then you go to buy a TV and you find that you can't get it because there's no SCART sockets in it. So that's something you need to be aware of. And even though the TV seems to be working again, I might just pick up another one anyway, just in case. But if anybody knows a particular make and model of an LCD TV that's got 2 SCART sockets or is good for old consoles, let me know. Ideally, I want it to have at least one HDMI input and 2 SCART sockets. But like I said, I might be wishing for something that I'm not going to get, because I was checking through on Amazon and Argos, and none of the TVs have any more than 1 SCART socket. So we'll just need to see what happens. So that has been that. Not been doing very much. Like I said, I've been running a bit busy. I've had quite a busy week, hence a lack of videos, guys. There's not going to be anything getting put out over the weekend, obviously, because I'm not going to be here. But I do promise I will get back to normal next week. I mean, talking about lack of content, I did mention a few weeks ago, I noticed that Monkey Spaz, it's been about a month since he's put out a video. Hope everyone's alright, James. Not like him. I mean, I know, you know, this is only a hobby. What we do here is just a hobby, you know, and real life should always take precedence to making videos. But it's not like him. That's the longest I've seen James go without a video. Same with Swifto. It's been well over a month since Swifto's put out a video. I hope you're alright, mate. I mean, you know, it's good to watch your videos, and it's always a wee bit concerning when you see people you know, not making stuff. So that has been that. Yeah, that is it. I've not got a great deal to talk about. I know that's a huge surprise. Now, following last week's gargantuan, veritable feast of questions, I've only got one question here, and it's from, in fact, wait a minute, before I start, I've got one thing I want to, one rant that I want to make before I come up with the question. I'm on Facebook, like most people. I'm on Facebook. You know, I'm not going to go into the virtues of Facebook. You know, it's as good as it is crap. Anyway, we'll not talk about that. That's for another day. There was an advert popped up, and there's a company selling a RetroPie. They're selling a Raspberry Pi 3 with RetroPie installed, plus all the games. You get the power pack. What else do you get? I don't know if you get the HDMI cable. It didn't say that, so we need to assume you don't get it. You get 2 SNES pads. Now they're USB SNES pads. Now I bought one of them on eBay for about £3, so they're cheap as chips. So they're giving you a Raspberry Pi is what, about £35. An SD card, or you're getting a 32 gig SD card. An SD card is a £5, so say £40 for the Pi plus SD card. You've got a case with it. Well, yeah, that's right, my Pi cost £40, and that was for the case and the Pi. So £40 for the Pi and the case and the SD card. 2 SNES pads. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say £5 each. So there's a tenner, so that's £50. They've put RetroPie in it. Now RetroPie is completely free. It's made by wonderful people who do this for no profit whatsoever. So you're getting your Pi, you're getting the case, you're getting the power adapter. Yeah, the power adapter's extra, say a tenner for that. So that's 40 plus a 10 for the pads is 50 plus the power back 60. So £60. That's what it's going to cost them, and that's being generous, because you know you can get 2 SNES pads for under a tenner. And, £60. They're selling it with all the games installed for £109.99. Now that just really pisses me off big style, because The Raspberry Pi has, I mean, what you're getting for 30 quid, you're getting like a dual core PC, standalone PC. It's phenomenal value. They deliberately put it out really cheap. I mean, they could have quite easily charged 80 quid for it, but no, they sell it for 30 quid. So they're putting it out, probably not making much a profit on it. I mean, I know it's for charity. They're probably not making that much a profit on that. The Retro Pi itself, like I says, it's completely free. These guys make that off, you know, the goodness of their heart. They offer it out there to the community for people to use. So these guys are putting something which they can get for nothing onto something which is quite cheap, the Raspberry Pi. Then they're technically illegally downloading all these games and then selling it for £109.99. So they're making, say 60 quid, I think that's on the high side, 60 quid, they're selling it for £110, so that is 50, they're making £50 profit. The only work they've got to do is write the image, the RetroPie image. What they'll have done is got RetroPie, put all the ROMs and games in it, created an image. All they're doing is flashing the image on an SD card, and they're charging 50 quid for the price, for the cost of doing that. I just think that's diabolical. I know some people probably, their viewpoint as well, there's people who don't know where to get games, etc. And I understand that. But I just think it's greed. It's pure greed. These people doing that. I mean, I built that cab for probably about, you know, 150 quid, and that's in a cabinet with controls and that. It just annoys me, people profiteering. I mean, I'm the first person to put my hand up and say, yep, I have downloaded tens of thousands of ROMs illegally, because it is illegal to download a ROM, and I think even if you own a game cartridge, I don't think you've got the right to download a ROM, but I do. The way I see it is, these companies aren't making any money out of it. These games are defunct, you know. There's no way to give these companies any money. So yeah, I download ROMs, but one thing I have never ever done, and I would never do, and that is sell anything. I'm the first person, if somebody's, I mean, there's one guy, Charlie, who's been watching my videos, and he got in touch with me about the GPD XD, which I'll talk about in a minute. But and he's been asking about advice. I've been kind of helping him out with ROMs, and I provided him a ROM set for MAME, and I've sent him another couple of games and that as well. I don't have a problem doing that, but one thing I would never ever do, and that is charge for that, because these ROMs, I don't own them, they're not mine, and I just think it's completely against the whole ethical thing of the sort of like the whole retro community. You know, when you start making money, what they'll say is, I mean, I would love it for these guys to, sorry, just cut out there. I would love these guys to explain why how they're comfortable about charging £50 to flash an SD card. That is all they're doing. They're writing an image on an SD card and they're plugging it into the Pi. That is it. They're doing nothing else with their money. So I really get quite upset when I hear companies, people, individuals, whatever, trying to sell stuff that is completely freely available out there. You know, if I get it, if they were charging, you know, at the end of the day, these guys have had to download the ROMs, etc. Like what I've done. It's not difficult, but these guys have downloaded them. So yeah, it's maybe taking them a few hours to download all these ROMs. They've done that once. They're not downloading them every single time. So you can say, well, yeah, we're charging for our time to have done that. 50 quid? I don't think so. I think you're taking the absolute piss, and I seriously hope that nobody buys your product, because you're basically ripping people off. You're using something which has been put out there deliberately at a low price point for people to enjoy, and then you're also using software which was put out completely free from the goodness of somebody's heart. And a jump cut, that was the postman, so I've got a wee pick-up to show you. Aye, getting back to this RetroPie thing, I mean, the software, it's guys that have put this together for no charge at all, and it just really hacks me off big style when I see people out there exploiting it. Yep, they're providing a service, 50 quid service. They're only downloading the ROMs once, so why are they charging 50 quid? So if you happen to see that, guys, please do not use it, because I just think it's absolute bullshit. So anyway, right, that is the only topic I've got to talk about. I've just got one question, and I'm afraid it's not going to, the answer isn't going to be particularly long. Kev, down the rabbit hole. Thank you, Kev. You're always reliable when it comes to questions. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan, this is a very open-ended question for you. What did you think of E3? Or did you already talk about it? Now this might come as quite a surprise to people that follow the channel. As much as I love video games, and I love them to bits, I really don't follow any of these kind of press shows, any of the new stuff. I mean, I've got a PS4, I've got an Xbox One downstairs. I'm really not that interested in modern systems, so stuff like E3 I never ever pay attention to. I'll only get to hear about E3 is through like YouTube, social media, Facebook, that kind of stuff. I've not got much interest in watching these kind of things. Possibly I should, but like I says, my heart lies in the old systems, not in the new ones. Although I will buy a new system when it comes out. You know, I've always my interest lies. I mean, probably well, not all of them, but probably out of most of the sort of the retro gaming channels, I'm the one that probably talks about the oldest stuff, the earlier stuff, because that's where my interest lies. I'm lucky enough to be old enough to remember this wonderful industry when it first kicked off. So, you know, I love to be able to talk about all the old systems. I really do. So yeah, sorry Kev, I can't really answer that, mate, because I don't watch it. Simple as that. I've not got any interest in watching it. I'll get to hear about the big highs and the big lows through social media. So that is it. As usual, guys, please give me questions. I mean, last week I got a phenomenal amount. In fact, you probably noticed that my waffle ran on to an hour, which is maybe not a good thing. But that's because I got so many questions, and I really do need your questions, because as Steve Benway will testify, it gets to a point where you can only talk about so much stuff. Then you start to repeat yourself, and you start doing what I'm doing. You dry up. You've got nothing to talk about. And as I said, unless I start getting stuff, this isn't a threat, by the way, guys. This is just really, this is a fact. Unless I start getting stuff to talk about, you know, the Friday Waffle may eventually have to be retired, because, you know, I don't want to start sounding boring. Well, I'm maybe already doing that, but I don't want to start repeating myself. And like I said, I don't really keep up to date with current stuff, so I've possibly covered the archive of my memories as regards video games. So please, anything at all, like I said, it doesn't even have to be a question, just a topic. What do you think of? What do you think of the Vega, the Spectrum Vega? What do you think of, I don't know, piracy? What experiences have you got about piracy? Do you think it's good or bad? Did it kill the industry? Anything like that at all? Any questions you want to hear me talk pish about, please put it below. Before I forget, coming up next week, there's a game, Luma. I think it's called Luma. Yeah, it is Luma. It's not Luma. Yeah, it's Luma. It's a 3D, isometric 3D, very in the same vein as Night Lore, Alien 8, Batman on the Spectrum. It's been released in Steam and also the Xbox One and PS4, and it's an indie game, and it's written by one of my mates, Gareth Noyce. Gareth used to work for Ruffian Games, who've done a lot of stuff on the Xbox 360. They did like Crackdown 2. They're currently working on a game, is it Fractalis or something? I can't remember exactly what the name of the game's called, but Gareth used to work for Ruffian Games, but he's now gone off on his own, and he's released this game. Now I've got to say, I bought it. It's $14.99. I bought it. I wasn't given it at all. I've probably put in a couple hours in it, and it's fantastic. It is brilliant. I was never a big fan of these kind of isometric games because I never had a Spectrum. You know, I had a Commodore 64 which just simply couldn't do these games. It feels like an old game. The controls are just spot on. Graphics are beautiful. The character that you control, it kind of feels similar to, is it Saberman, the wee character that you used to play in Ultimate games. It's wonderful. Lumo, go and check it out. Now, I was in touch with Gareth. It was earlier on this week actually. I am going to be talking to Gareth. I think it's next Tuesday night we're going to be talking. So I'm going to be having a chat with Gareth, just asking him how he came to be with this game, you know, what it was like to write it. Get Gareth's thoughts and feelings on the game. But please go and check it out. It's an astonishing game. Like I said, I bought it. I wasn't giving it for nothing at all. Lovely game. Really, really nice. As Gary Liddon says, if you're only going to buy one isometric 3D game this year, make it Lumo. So go and check that out, guys. Right, listen, that is me kind of finished. I've just got a couple of pickups. I don't think... Well, I didn't, because I was at the thing last... oh yeah, you know what? I've completely... Well, I made a video of Blackpool play Glasgow last week. I was there on Saturday. Got through nice and early. I was there for 10 o'clock opening. The actual room that the whole thing was in, it wasn't particularly big. There was a lot less arcade cabinets. There was a lot of games that I'd like to have seen that weren't there. You know, there's no Asteroids, there's no Track and Field, Terra Cresta, Space Invaders. There's a lot of games that weren't there. I think there was more pinball tables, and I actually had a few games of it. I'm still not convinced. I mean, it's good fun, but I still think it still feels too random to me. But saying that, I was watching this guy playing pinball, and he was awesome at it. And I was trying to think, why am I crap at it and he's good at it? Because at the end of the day, you're just pressing buttons, but it's all about timing, and you know, I think he was aiming at stuff. Depending on where the ball is, you can actually aim at targets and that kind of thing. So I played a bit of that, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, I played tons of games. I went there myself, so I didn't really have to I didn't feel guilty about not hanging about with my mates at all. But I did meet a few people. I met Alan, who used to be used to go to the computer club. I met Jonathan. I met Dave. I met there was a chap came up to me. You know, I can't even remember your name again. Is it Ian, mate? One of the guys came up to me, one of my subscribers, to speak to me, and it was excellent. Really, really nice to meet you. Chatting away to him. Who else did I meet? I was talking to Jim Bagley again. He's such a nice guy, and he was showing me a bit more of his bomb jack for the Vectrex. That's going to be one nice game. It really is. Jim's one of these guys that he does stuff in hardware that really shouldn't be possible. But anyway, no, I enjoyed it. It didn't feel, although it was a small room, it didn't feel too busy. You never had to spend any more than a few minutes to wait to get on a game, so that was really good fun. Played tons of games, played a lot of Berzerk, got a high score in it. The retail part was pretty poor. There wasn't that much. There was maybe 3 stalls selling games. There was a stall selling manga type artwork. There was the usual pops. There was baseball caps. There was what I can only describe as it looked like a bloody car boot sale stall. They had all these random things with prices on it, and that was the stall. They were wanting £250 for their Vectrex, and it was a show special apparently. So they probably want £300 for it when it's not on sale at the show. But £250. They can, you know, they're just seriously delusioned if they think they're going to get that for it. It was a basic Vectrex. I think it was obviously, what do you call it? The built-in, I can't even remember, Mindstorm, built-in Mindstorm, and it had the overlay, but £250 is way over the top, and it was of no surprise that I noticed that it was still for sale at the end of the day. When I got in, when I was doing Blackpool actually, there was 2 games I wanted to try and buy. Didn't see them. When I went into Glasgow last week, the first thing I did was went up to one of the stalls, and I found both games. Now the first one, it's a game, Mario Smash Football for the GameCube. I've seen them playing that at Blackpool, playing Blackpool, and I always thought it looked really good fun. And it's a game, GameCube games tend to hold their value. You know, it's boxed and complete, it's got instructions. Yeah, they tend to hold their value quite well. So it goes for usually about 20-25 quid, so I got that for £18, so I was quite happy with that. And this one game, I've got a copy of it, I don't have an original. I've been after this for quite a long time, but it goes for usually 40 odd quid upwards for the PAL, and that is Gradius 5. That is quite simply the best PlayStation 2 game ever. If you're into shoot 'em ups. If you're not into shoot 'em ups, you probably think it's shite, but it's an absolute stunning game. I sometimes think to myself, there's certain, like on the Wii was never really famed for its graphics, but if you look at Mario, what's it called again? Not Mario Sunshine. Oh, what the hell? What's the Mario game in it? Super Mario. Okay, I can't even remember the name of it. Anyway, there's the 2 Mario games that came out for it, and they just look HD. It's almost like the publishers know a secret. There's a secret. They can unlock the hardware to make better games. But you know, oh, what is it called? Mario. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. That's old age for you. And this game as well, it's on the PlayStation 2, but if you load it up, it looks like it's HD. It's just absolutely incredible looking. It's a glorious looking game. It's one of my favourite shoot 'em ups. Absolutely stunning game. So yeah, that normally goes for about 40 quid. I got that for 25 quid. So that is it. That's the 2 things I got. Mario Soccer and Gradius. So right, the last thing I'm going to show you, and I'm kind of thinking, I wouldn't show you it, but you know what, it's just arrived, and I'm going to let you see it. If I can try and not cut myself with my Stanley knife. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Just talk amongst yourselves at the moment, guys. Oops, a daisy. Right, what I have got here, Gav. Right, you know what? It's not what I thought it was. What I thought this was my side art for my pie cab. I was going to let you see it. It's not that at all. Right, I may as well show you the pickup. This here is something that they're hard to come by, and I love them to bits. And you simply never see them in shops. So I decided to go online and buy it. And what I have got myself is bacon fries. These are food of the gods. They're little bacon crisps. That was about 6 quid for 24 packets of them. Yeah, I thought that was going to be my side art from my pie cab, but it's not. It's my bacon fries, which is just as good. So anyway, I bet that's the first food related pickup you've seen in one of these videos. That is it, guys. That is enough for me. I'm going to go and have a lie down and grow my beard some more. Have a good weekend. As I said, guys, please put any questions, topics, anything at all you want to hear my views on. Stick them below. Thanks to all the subscribers. I noticed I had a bit of a jump up in subscribers. I mean, it just went above 800 last week, I think it was, and it's up to 815, 816. It jumped up by about 5 or 6 in one day a few days ago. So thank you very much to everybody that's just joined the channel. Hopefully you'll see enough that you want to remain here. Thanks to everybody that continues to support me. You know, without you guys, this stuff would not be possible. So that is it. That is it for me, guys. Thank you very much, and as usual, thank you for watching.